Checking the goal kickers, North Melbourne, 2 goals to Lou Gallant and singles to Tim Jones and Stephen Willocks. And for Richmond, the goal kickers, Simon Goosey, Michael Clark and Tony Free. Well, plenty of action on the MCG, so let's go up to the commentary position and Peter Walsh.
As you speak, Clark, another goal to the Richmond team, kicked by Clark, Michael Clark, kicking his second. And the Tigers square proceedings at the 5.5-minute mark of the second term. Richmond 4-4-28, North Melbourne 4-4-28 on a superb spring morning here in Melbourne. ABC Sport carrying you right through footy fever. And at the moment, the temperature is 25 degrees in downtown Melbourne. A big crowd building, and North Melbourne perhaps looking at a flag. They've been in the last 3 under-19 grand finals and haven't tasted too much success. But it's Tiger territory at the moment as Stephen Ryan runs the ball out of the centre towards the half-forward line. There's some manhandling, and the kick goes the way of it. I thought it was Wayne Swash, but he's going to trundle across to Ryan, who will kick the Richmond team into attack. Poor disposal. That's been the order of the exercise right throughout the day. That kick going down the throat of Martin. He relieves for North Melbourne back towards centre field. Stolen off the pack there by Maloney. He's long kicking towards the centre half-forward position. The man doing well is Gallant, taken off him in clever fashion, and it'll be Simon Lawton for the Richmond team, who clears around towards the half-back line. Pretty scrambly out there at the moment, and there'll be a kick plucked out. Not too happy about the decision is Seamus Hounahan, and the kick goes the way of Lumsden for North Melbourne. He'll drive them back into attack. North Melbourne 4-4-28, Richmond 4-4-28, and Douglas finishes up with the ball for the North Melbourne team. At the 6-7-minute mark of this term, the Kangaroos in attack.
Well, nothing happening across that half-forward line at the moment. As you can see, very congested play at the moment. North Melbourne started very nervously. They, of course, had the rest last week. Richmond beat Essendon convincingly in the preliminary final, so Richmond started well, but North Melbourne have come back. There's the bounce at half-forward. In goes McLeod. Oh, beautiful fist away. Goes to Hounahan. Hounahan one way, then the other. Looks to give the hand pass away. Eventually gets it away, but it wasn't a very good one by the red-headed player. Hand pass by Nichols out of the pack. But what's the umpire going to... Oh, the Richmond players don't like that one. And it's a free kick going to DePetta. DePetta, North Melbourne's half-back.
Hounahan was certainly showing his red hair.
Yes, his temper, the kick up high. Nice spoil by the Richmond defence. Coming through strongly is Willocks. Willocks has a shot for goal, but he wasn't really under a great deal of pressure, but the ball out of bounds on the full. The free kick going to Richmond.
Ryan does the relieving. Short distance kick to half-back. Michael Clark, he's covering plenty of territory. 4-4-28 each of 2 in the second term of 8 minutes in the under-19 grand final. Lambert in the long sleeves, the only one in the long sleeves. Stolen away from him by Tim Jones. Big kick, Willocks the target, up forward, he's grabbed it. Gallant in the middle, coming through strongly for North Melbourne, who's kicked a couple. And he's taken the mark about 30 metres from goal.
That was a very good strong mark coming over the top to take that mark, and already he's featured in a few plays and kicked 2 goals, and this will be his 3rd if he can score it. It's well within range, so there's no excuses if he doesn't.
Luke Gallant for the North Melbourne team. They were given a verbal barrage of abuse from Dennis Pagan at quarter time, revving the charges up after a rather inept display early in the piece. And the dulcet tones of Dennis Pagan rang through the MCG. Not too many people here at the moment, but they're building up. Gallant's enjoying this term and this match. He's kicked his 3rd. And North Melbourne, who trailed by 7 points at quarter time, now lead by 6. The Kangaroos 5-4-34, Richmond 4-4-28.
He's enjoyed this quarter, 2 goals in the first.